Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for joining. Today's video is going to be about a topic that I get asked a lot about. I would definitely say it's the most frequent question that people ask me or reach out to me about. So I wanted to provide that information on a forum that anyone can reach if maybe they're not comfortable asking me. So the question that I get asked, without a doubt, probably once a month is, how did I move abroad in my 20s? Or simply enough, how did I get here? So there's a lot of steps to how I got here and a lot of moving pieces, and by all of those things, God was completely in control at the end of the day of how it worked out for me. So this is just my own personal story. So there is some advice that I can give you, but at the same time, a lot of it is just because of my story, and everyone's story will be different, but I think my story can help you if you're wanting to move abroad, definitely equip you with some tools and help of how to encourage the opportunity to get here. Well, so I will just go ahead and get started, and I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to me in any way possible. In 2000, my family actually moved to the Netherlands, so I lived abroad for just under 3 years. In our time in the Netherlands, we spent a ton of time traveling. My parents kind of took us everywhere, and I think that is what truly started this desire of traveling, of being independent, of doing my own thing. So that's kind of the first, I wouldn't say step, but how I got the desire. If you're watching this video, you probably have your own desire, so you don't actually need to do that. You probably already have some other thing that's calling you to want to move. Because I knew at an early age that I had this desire to travel, I tried to determine ways that I could get abroad that weren't as expensive, and at a young age, because I knew my parents wouldn't just buy me a flight to Europe. So the best way I knew how when I was younger was mission trips. So I went on a lot of mission trips when I was younger. I was part of a choir, so I went on choir tours. I mean, anything to do to travel, count me in. I was in a club volleyball team, so you had to travel on the club volleyball team. I mean, I just found any way to try to travel. And then when I was in high school, I knew when I went to college that was going to be my first real opportunity to go somewhere like Europe, further away, through a study abroad program. Neither of my brothers did study abroad, but it was just something that I knew wanted to be a part of my university experience. So when I was looking into universities, one of my first steps was looking at their study abroad programs. If you are still in high school and looking to go to college or graduate school, and one of your top priorities is to go abroad, then you should definitely look into the study abroad program of your university, because there are extreme differences in different universities. For example, for the main schools that I was looking at, there are two options. Option number one is just a study abroad program. So you pay your own tuition, then you have to pay for the flight to go abroad, and then you pay for additional classes per credit hour, which usually are thousands of dollars per credit hour. So that's option number one. Option number two is called a reciprocal exchange program. And what this is you pay your tuition, and your university has a partnership with another university elsewhere in the world, and they swap you. So essentially, you pay your tuition, someone in England pays their tuition, and then you switch places. So you take over their spot in England, and they take over your spot wherever you are in university. So this requires no additional fees, nothing extra. The only thing extra that you have to pay for is the flight to get over there. So if you can get over that milestone, then everything else is just normal. And in a lot of cases, room and board in Europe for students is significantly cheaper than dorms or apartments on campuses. So when you look into your universities, I strongly suggest looking at option number 2. However, the caveat with option number 2 is you have to go for at least 1 or 2 semesters. So, well, 1 semester or you have to go full year. Option number 1, you can go for just a week, or you can go, I think it goes up to 6 weeks. So if you're not wanting to commit a lot of time, option 2 won't be an option for you. When I wanted to go abroad, a semester sounded so scary to me, but financials kind of chose me over my time frame. My only regret of going abroad is I wish I could have done it again. I wish I could have gone for a whole year or another semester in another place. If you're wanting to go abroad and you're excited to go abroad, I definitely think going for an entire semester is the way to go. The other difference between option 1 and number 2 is 1 is you are going to go with students and teachers from your university. You will have guided tours and traveling experiences, but again, all individually paid for. Option number 2, nothing is really planned for you. When you get to your university, you do have people that take care of you. There is a study abroad program always that's set up at that university that help guide you and teach you kind of the culture and what's around and the school, but there's no traveling planning. So you kind of have to take the initiative to do that. But for me, it made traveling a whole lot cheaper because we didn't have to stay in the places or go to the places that the university was telling us to. So yeah, that is the biggest deal of studying abroad, is understanding those options. So my university had both, and I chose option number 2, and I went abroad to France for a semester. Phenomenal. I wish I could have gone again. I got to go to 14 different countries in 1 semester. It was amazing. Just for a lot of people that say, oh, but I don't want to affect my graduation, whatever. I went to a school that provided the same major as me. I was able to apply my scholarship to that university. I took 17 credit hours. I actually boosted my GPA at this foreign school, and I was able to graduate in 4 years. So definitely an option. Just make sure you pick the right school for you to progress in school, not just to go abroad. That was an important step because what started as a hobby of traveling, when I went abroad, it became a passion of traveling because I came back and I was home for 2 weeks and then I wanted to go back abroad. That was the biggest step, and there were lots of steps in that. I chose the right university, I chose a study abroad program, I chose the right study abroad program. Then on top of that, when I was in university and what I studied business management and international business. This is completely relatable to a future of traveling in my career. So some majors or jobs that are typical to travel are business, communications, political science, social studies or social work, any type of business related ones, I should say. That was university, how I prepared for adult life. When I started looking at jobs and companies to work with, I researched the company before even meeting them or applying for an open position. I kept my focus mainly on international or global companies because those are the only companies that are going to provide you the opportunity to move abroad. If they don't have offices over there, if they don't have a reason to be abroad, they're not going to send you. I only entertained the idea of working for companies that had global or international offices. Once you find those companies, apply for them. Apply for everything. Applying for jobs was like applying for scholarships. It was a job in and of itself, but you have to apply to so many before you find the right fit. So just apply. I mean, the worst they can say is nothing or no. I made sure there was a focus on my resume that highlighted my international expertise. I talked about my study abroad. I talked about what I did abroad. I talked about how I excelled abroad. so that they knew from the beginning that that was a passion that I had. Secondly, in interviews, because I had highlighted it in my resume, they most likely asked me about my experiences. And if they didn't, or even if they did, I made sure to interject them into the interview. I made sure to show what I've learned and that I have cultural experience in different areas. I'm comfortable being around different languages. I understand how to handle business in other countries because I studied international business internationally at a business university. I had the foundation to set me up to share my experiences in my interview about how I would better the company internationally. On top of that, I made sure to express my appreciation and my gratitude and my passion for traveling so that they knew not only was I an asset, I was also willing to go abroad if that opportunity came up. Once I got hired and was starting my training, I made sure that I told everyone, basically. I made sure I had one-on-one discussions with them, explaining my passion, my desire, and my willingness to move abroad if that option were to ever happen. And not only that, but saying, I want my name in the hat if that's an opportunity. Saying, I'm not only telling you I'm willing, I'm asking to be an option. So again, that you have to be really forward and really open and really honest. After about 2 months, my boss came up to me and said, hey, were you serious when you said at the beginning when you started that you were willing and that you wanted your name in the hat to move abroad? I said, yes, I'm serious. That's really where it started. And then from then on out, it was another 7 months before it even came real. And then that next 7 months was, are you ready? Do you know enough about the company? Are you experienced enough to be an asset abroad? I really had to prove myself that I could learn faster, that I could pick things up faster, that I could follow. I could be a sponge. What they told me, came in, learned, and executed, and held it. Once it was finally said, okay, you're going to Belgium for 6 months to 2 years. You know, you kind of have to be okay with that. Preparing to move abroad, the greatest thing about a company sending you is that the HR department works with you hand in hand on preparing your documents. So visas, work permits, apartments, car, phone, everything. They're preparing you for success because they want their company to be a success. Once you get abroad, it doesn't end there. You have to work your bouteille off to show that the investment that the company has made in you to send you abroad is worth it. So, my main tips. Study abroad if you are still in university. Look at global companies. Be vocal in your interviews and at all times about your desire and willingness to move abroad. Work your butt off when you get hired for a company and research where you're going. And then once you get there, go back to number 4 and work your butt off again because it's really worth it. I can't even describe it. It's truly a dream come true, as lame as that may seem. My actual dream coming true in my early 20s. So, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'm happy to answer at any time, especially about how to move abroad. I hope that this has helped you in determining if you do want to move abroad or how to move abroad. And it doesn't just have to be in your 20s, it can be at any time. Thank you everyone for joining this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And go ahead and click that subscribe button down below if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you all, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye!